Okay, next part. I'm just trying to get these done. Chapter 7. Soon Leona, Ophelia, and the other star darlings stood in a circle around the grass-covered platform from which a wish orb would soon reveal itself. Sorry, I forgot there was a Jolly Rancher in my mouth. Okay. Leona looked up and saw clouds drifting slowly across the blue sky. As usual, she had to remind herself that they were underground and not in Starling City Park. "Are you ready, star darlings?" as Lady Stella raised her arms to begin the process of the wish orb reveal. Leona knew she was ready. She gazed around and could see that the others were as well. Everyone, that is, but poor Ophelia, who looked as if she'd eaten way too much Zoomberry cake and was about to lose it all. Cassie didn't look very confident either. Lady Stella clapped once and the room fell dark, save for one pure white beam of light shining down on the platform, which slowly opened up, revealing a bright orb. It hovered in the air and then did something different. It started to race around the circle, zooming up to each star darling for a split second and then zipping across the circle toward another. Leona's eyes lit up each time it approached her, and her smile faded each time it zipped away. She closed her eyes in frustration. "Leona!" someone shouted. She opened her eyes. The beautiful, tantalizing orb floated in the air in front of her. She reached out, and the orb fit in her palm perfectly. She felt a wave of pure bliss as she gazed down at it. "Congratulations, Leona," said Lady Stella, pressing her palms together and bowing over them. "How long till I go?" Leona asked. Tomorrow morning. Afternoon? Oh, wait. How long till I go?" Leona asked. "Tomorrow morning? Afternoon? Actually," the mistress stood over the wish orb and studied it, "I do believe that in the case of this wish, there isn't a starman to lose. As you know, a wish orb will stay fresh and healthy as long as the wisher keeps wishing on the wish. But if they begin to forget or change their mind, their wish orb will lose its glow and fade away. Is that what's happening?" "It certainly appears so," said Lady Stella. "The glow is already fading. I'm afraid this wish needs granting very soon." Is this a really long chapter? Because I don't have very long. Okay, Then what are we waiting for? Said Leona. "All I really need is my wish pendant, right? Then I can go catch a shooting star." From the underground wish house, Leona followed Lady Stella out of the star caves. After a brief stop in the headmistress's office for a quick refresher on the features she needed to use on her stars app when she got to Wish World, Leona raced back to her room to be sure she had everything she needed. Back in Halo Hall, she boarded the Flash vertical mover, and in mere starsecs, she was whisked into the sky. Lady Stella and the rest of the star darlings were there to see her off, all wearing their safety star glasses. Leona hugged all the star darlings goodbye, leaving Ophelia with the extra strong supportive squeeze. "Remember what I told you. This is all strange and very new right now, but it's going to get easier every star day. You're going to be a great star darling, Ophelia. Just hang in there and believe in yourself. Promise you'll try my mirror mantra. Remember how it goes." Ophelia took a hopeful breath. "You are a star. Light up the world." "Exactly! You got it!" Lady Stella gave Leona some last-minute advice. "Focus on your mission. Be sure you don't get caught up in the excitement of being on Wish World," she reminded Leona. "And be sure to discover your wisher's true wish, not the wish you think she may have made." Lady Cordial gave Leona her backpack with the stuffed star-shaped keychain and wished her luck. On the special Star Darling Wish World surveillance deck, Star Wranglers were already waiting with lassos made of wish energy to harness Leona to the next shooting star, which came before she even had time to think, "Am I ready? Or should I have brought a microphone?" The next thing Leona knew, she was strapped to the star and hurling towards space like a golden meteor. It was beautiful. The colors were endless, like a giant box of cosmic crayons times 100. Leona had to force herself to focus on her mission, like Lady Stella had said, and to use the precious starman she had to prepare for what was to come. It was hard, though, not to simply gaze around, enjoying a view of the universe that only a few starlings ever got. Fortunately, she had her stars app to alert her when it was time to commence her appearance change. By then, she had entered Wishworld's atmosphere and could see the shapes of the continents below. She hurried to pull up the Wishworld outfit selector on her Stars app and chose something Wishlingy to wear. Then she closed her eyes, placed her hand over her golden cuff, and recited the body-transforming lines. Starlight, star bright, the first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might, have the wish I wish tonight. A soothing warmth spread through her body, and she envisioned what she would look like on Wishworld. Hair that was light brown instead of gold, and her skin that was still honey brown, but shimmerless and dull. She opened her eyes slowly to see if the mantra had worked. "Starmendous!" she said out loud, shaking the stars loose from her hair. Her stars app flashed, "Prepare for landing," and Leona did, once more closing her eyes. She braced for a jolt, but she was far from ready for the icy cold splash she got instead. "Ah!" she wailed, opening her eyes to find herself in the middle of a wide blue tree-lined lake. She grabbed the star and swam to shore as fast as she could, grateful for her water ballet lessons in the luminous lake. Unfortunately, while all bodies of water on Starland instantly adjusted to any temperature a swimmer might desire, from hot tub warm to refreshingly cool, the water in this Wishworld lake was most undesirably icy cold. Leona reached the bank and climbed out, shivering only to feel colder when her wet skin met the air. Without her natural star energy glow and shimmer, she had no way to keep off the chill. But she did have a Stars app, fortunately, which meant a whole wardrobe of dry clothes. She quickly pulled it out and dialed up the warmest outfit she could find. A butter-soft, long-sleeved gold sweater with a chenille star applied on the chest. French words, I can't. A pair of brown leggings flecked with gold and cozy fleece-lined boots covered with tiny, shiny gold sequins. Then she took a Starman to make a mental note, which could be recorded in her cyber journal when she pressed a button on her Stars app. Mission 3, Wishworld Observation Number 1. Wishworld water is cold. Recommend including a drying feature in future Star Darling Stars apps. Leona shook the water off her star and folded it up. She checked her image in the Stars app and was pleased with her outfit. At least. Her hair, on the other hand, was dripping wet. On Starland, of course, this never happened. Hair looked exactly the same, dry or wet. Leona wished she knew what wishlings did with their hair in these situations, but the subject had never come up in class. All she could do was give it a shake and hope it dried by itself. Most important, she knew, was to find her wisher, and she turned once more to her Stars app for that. "Take me to the wisher I've come to help," she said, holding the Stars app out to see where it would lead. "Before my wisher forgets her wish," she thought, or somehow changes her mind. Directions appeared on the holo screen, and Leona followed them away from the lake and through the trees. Pine trees. Leona recognized them from a holo picture in the Wishworld Relations classroom. Only in that picture, the trees were frosted with plain white Wishworld snow. On Starland, they had snow as well, but the flakes were all different colors and looked like confetti when they fell. Leona remembered thinking how much fun it would be just once to have one color snow. She would, of course, have picked gold. Before too long, the directions led her out of the woods and into the sun, into a lush green Wishworld lawn. Leona paused to let the warm rays sink in, then continued down a lane to a tall, dull, black, yet impressively intricate iron gate, similar to the one that ran around Starling Academy. She noticed words at the top and read them. Havisham Academy, boarding school for girls. Havisham Academy. "Oh," gasped Leona. "This must be the place." Perhaps it was even a school for special wishlings, like Starling Academy was for starlings. Much like at Starling Academy, a long driveway led through the gate and was lined with stately, broad-limbed trees, unlike along Starling Academy's Constellation Lane. Though the leaves along this Wishworld road remained a single color, green. The drive circled at the end, where it reached a wide rectangular building made of a rough reddish bricks. Leafy green ropes grew up the walls, all the way to the slate roof. Leona was checking her stars app again to see if it might inform her that her wisher was inside when all of a sudden, without any warning, the doors flew open and a flood of young female wishlings poured out. And they weren't just coming from that one building, Leona soon realized, but from similar-looking structures all around. Some kept to the paths that crisscrossed the well-trimmed lawns, and some hiked across the grass. Leona froze, fearing one of the kids might run her over if she kept moving. "Look out!" It almost happened anyway. A line of 3 girls stopped short just in front of her, forcing Leona to stumble back. "Oh, sorry," one said. "You probably shouldn't stand there. Yeah, not when class is let out, at least. Are you looking for someone?" the first girl asked. "Who, me?" If only they knew, Leona thought. Actually, I go here." "You do?" 2 girls raised their eyebrows. The third eyed Leona from head to toe. "Then why aren't you wearing a uniform?" "A what?" Leona said. The third girl nodded toward her outfit, then gave a quick chin bob to each of her friends. That's when Leona noticed for the first time that they, and every girl inside, were all dressed exactly alike. Black shoes, tall white socks folded just below the knee, crisp white shirts with plain white buttons in a row all down the front, red and blue striped strips of fabric tied in knots around their necks, plaid skirts with a large decorative pin, and finally, boxy storm gray blazers with shield-shaped patches affixated to pockets on their chests. Right, a uniform. Leona remembered now. They had learned about those in class, only she thought those were clothes adult wishlings wore for some of their special jobs, like putting out fires or fighting crime. Things that on Starland never needed to be done. And then there were the uniforms adult wishlings wore when they played young wishling games in front of crowds. But to school? Leona must have somehow missed that lesson, or laughed it off as a joke. "So this is the uniform. Today?" Her fingers jumped from girl to girl. "And tomorrow, I guess, you wear a different one. Is there by any chance a gold day?" The girls' faces wrinkled into different patterns of confusion. "We wear this every day." "I thought you went here," one of them said. "I do." Every day? Thought Leona. If she'd been on Starland, she'd surely have lost her glow. "But I'm new. I just arrived." Leona forced herself to add a smile, but it was hard to make it stay. The image of her in that made her want to cry instead. "Oh, so you're probably looking for the headmistress," said the first girl. "She'll give you a uniform and show you to your room." She pointed to the door they'd just come out of. "In there, first door on the left." Thanks," said Leona. She waited to watch the girls walk off. Then she turned and headed in to get her school uniform. Oh, finally. Mission 3. Wish World Observation Number 2. Warning. Be prepared. Choice of wishling wardrobe is not guaranteed. Finding the headmistress was easy, as was convincing her that Leona was enrolled in her school. The mind control techniques Sage and Libby had taught Leona and the others worked beautifully on her. Almost instantly, Leona was given... Oh my god, can we not? Leona was given a room assignment, a class schedule, and of course, a uniform, while the headmistress remarked on the sudden scent of baking brownies and paused now and then licked her lips. Then told Leona her room number and handed her a key. Leona politely refused her offer to show her the way. She wanted to find her wisher immediately. From there, Leona slipped into a restroom and quickly changed. She was more eager than ever to get on with her mission and back to her wardrobe on Starland as soon as possible. "Now, where's my wisher?" She checked to see if her stars app had any further instructions to give. "Ah!" she cried as she suddenly noticed a wishling girl standing right there. Leona reeled back in surprise. "You scared me," she started. Then she realized the pretty curly hair wishling was saying the same thing. "Starf," she said to her reflection in the mirror above the sink. She knew she was supposed to look like a real wishling, but still, it was hard to accept. She fluffed her hair, which had dried out fairly well. "You are a star," she said. "Light up the world." Her sparkly self stared back at her, and a surge of energy boosted her confidence. And with that, she opened the bathroom door and charged into the hall. According to the headmistress, classes were over for the day. The hall, therefore, was empty, and Leona's footsteps echoed as her stiff new loafers clip-clopped across the floor. Leona figured she'd head back outside and hope her stars up directed her from there. She paused, though, as she passed a bulletin board and did a double take. If there were 2 words that could catch her eye, they were the ones at the top of the pale pink flyer pinned between a cockeyed sign about a yearbook meeting and another about a semester in some place called Spain. Leona read the 2 words at the top of the pink flyer out loud. Talent show. A happy tingle made its way up her spine as she eagerly read on. Auditions today from 5 to 9 p.m. in Hawthorne Auditorium. Of course, she thought. That's gotta be where I'll find my wisher. She glanced up at the clock above the bulletin board. The time was 4:45. Here I come, whoever you are, she thought as she turned and ran, loafers clip-clapping to find the auditorium. Okay, that was chapter 7, and next video will be chapter 8. So, yeah.